File management. So let's go ahead and write that one down. And what we need to do for this is come up with a system. So really what I do is a version of the pair method. So instead of the pair method, really what I've done is I bifurcated into two sides. One side is going to be client side, and the other side is going to be really a compost heap. Compost heap, I'm stealing it from this guy. Really an excellent writer and a really good idea. So the compost heap, if you put things in the compost, it grows, right? It kind of turns into this microbiome kind of a situation where you just keep putting more compost in there, and the more it turns into this compost that you're able to use later. And that's what you got to think with what you're doing. You're going to put things in there. You may never get to it. You may never need it ever again, but you go search for it and you can find it. That's the compost heap. Client side is just client stuff, right? So I have 1 through 3, and I have kind of broken this into 3 pieces. So create, deadlines, and idle. Create is for creating documents. This is where we hold all of our templates. Deadlines are just as you'd expect, things with deadlines. And then idle are the same thing as projects that are idle. And so these ones here go back and forth. And you use these to create these. So these ones go back and forth. This is a one directional situation, like the band. So what's on the other side here? Well, you got the law library and you have the archive. And so why I like to look at this side as the compost heap is because this side, you're putting things in to grow. These things are growing. It's not like a trash. I think a lot of people are like, oh, it's an archive, it's like a trash. No, it's going to turn into like this kind of like a network or homeostasis of sorts, where you have these areas of law or whatever areas of knowledge that are going to be growing. That's what's on this side. Resources that are kind of in some way going to be working together. So, you might have cases, statutes, nutshells, archive is going to be, I'd say these are the dead cases. Okay. The cases that you're like, the likelihood of this coming back up again is very, very low. Okay. So all of these cases in the idle and deadlines, these are all going to end up here because there are also 2 different archives. Okay. One, you're going to have an archive for kind of being a lawyer. These are my archive for things. And then there's also going to be the client archive. Okay. Now, like I said, these are going to go in the client archive. The lawyer archive is just things that are like, I want to archive, but they're not really client related. They're not like literally a project. And then the law library also has, all of these have subfolders. So if I go into this, it's kind of a compost heap. It's a bunch of nonsense. It's guides. It's, self-help packets. It's all kinds of stuff. It's, forms. And then this one, same thing. So create has also different things. So one, create for lawyers and also staff. So you need 2 things. I call it the legal team. And so this is going to be folder here, parent folder here, parent folder there. And then same thing if you go back to deadlines, I like to have multiple folders here. So we have self-imposed deadlines, and then we also have court-imposed deadlines, right? And you have folder, and the parent folder. There's the structure right there. And then going on to the last one, idle. Idle is just this big pool of clients right now, right, where they all have these folders, folder, millions of folders, much more than the deadlines. Deadlines is going to be 10 to 15. This one, I don't know, maybe 50 on the idle projects, depending on the law firm. So the archive, same thing here, folder, and then the parent folder. And what a parent folder is just a folder that's like the first level of the folders. And so you click on the parent folder and that's going to take you to the other folders. What a beautiful system we have here. This really encompasses it all for me. Now, I told you at the beginning, I promised you I would show you, how this relates to the pair method. So I guess the compost heap would be the archive. The projects is going to be projects. The resources is going to be the law library. And that really leads us only to the templates, which is the areas of responsibility. PARA. Okay, we just did it a little bit differently. I was having some staff having some issues with the pair method because they were like, what does it mean? I don't understand how that makes sense. And so it just never clicked with them, especially the templates and being responsibility. I don't know why, but that was really hard for them to pick up. So create is just easier. Okay, what are we doing? We're creating documents, and they seem to like that a lot better. And so what is really the difference? It's really the subfolders. If I look at it, there are really 4 parent folders, but they're broken down into PA is on the left, RA, and so these are the parent folders, and I call these the team folders. There's these team folders up here, and that really helps the pair method, in my opinion, is keeping it separate into 2 columns where clients, everything goes down for the clients this way, and then everything goes down for the compost this way. And so breaking it down that way is really what you're going to want to do here. The main thing by making the video here today is like, hey, this worked for me. You know, if you have a situation where you're like stuck on file management or really anything in life, the bigger picture is get over the hump, make it work for you. If it's not working, don't just keep on trying it over like the para method. Don't be so strict that if it's not working for you, just change it. Make it work for you. The para method is not for every single business. It's kind of like different styles of productivity. Some businesses use waterfall methods. Some businesses use agile sprints type of a situation. Some do to-do lists for everything. Some people have list systems for everything, which is a great way to do it, by the way. But it doesn't work. It doesn't work for everybody. So make it happen. And that's what we've done here.